Hello again everyone, this is Mini Ninjas. Welcome to now the 8th part of the Rockman 7 Famicom D-Make series. Of course being the roll mod of it. This time we are now going to tackle the last of the Robot Masters left, which is Shade Man. As you can hear from the little jingle, we're going to be playing with the regular stages theme. Just as a note for those who don't know what I'm talking about, you can actually enter an extra little button combination which will, instead of the normal theme, play a Ghosts and Goblins themed remix that is actually kind of fitting with the stage that we're in. Because it would fit in with that game series as a whole. In terms of stage, I'd argue it's probably one of the longest of the normal Robot Master stages for this particular game. Just because not only is it just generally a long stage with a lot going on there, it also has a lot of different twists and turns and two big deviating patches that go along there. Along the way for one of those deviating patches is actually the little boss fight and extra item that I've been hinting at this whole time. Namely, boss fight with Blues, which can only be reached if you happen to have visited him in the two other locations prior in the specific order during the same playthrough. Only then can you actually face him off in a proper match in order to get his item from him. Now it's worth noting, yes, the password, once you do get the item, will save the added item on there, but it won't save the extra encounters. So if you happen to visit him on one of the other two spots, and then try to come back later in order to claim the last item in the boss fight, the game won't recognize it. In terms of how the D-Make handled this particular stage, as you can see, things are indeed a bit darker on the inside. The background really isn't present at all. It's all blacked out. But that's kind of fitting with the whole limit there. So it's not a huge complaint there. I'm understanding that is part of the limitations out there. This boss fight, or this mini-boss's palette is a little more simplified as well. Although generally you wouldn't be able to tell. I think in terms of the actual image itself, or the sprites it uses, it actually is a recolored version of the Super Famicom sprite, minus less colors. So that'll probably explain why it still seems to appear fairly decently. It's basically a carbon copy, but with a different palette. In terms of what I'm doing for this particular boss fight, there are two branching paths from this point. The first one, which is the one I want to take care of first, is handled by actually shooting at the inside part of it. So basically the core there in order to defeat it first. Which will lead it to, now that I have beaten it, lead it to fly over to the left of the stage and open this path for you. From there, it seems that he wants you to go downward, but no, there is one extra little hidden path there, once we get rid of the Sniper Joe. Yep, there's one little transparent, like, false wall, and a boss door. I wonder who it could lead to. No, not really, I don't wonder, I know it's Blues. Now, this particular boss fight, it's actually, I found a little bit of a harder one in general, just because the only weapon or damage you can do with this particular character is just the Mega Buster. And because of the changes in the game, Blues no longer flinches, which actually makes it a lot more hard, I find. And I think, at least it feels like Blues is opening himself a lot less in this particular boss fight. And yeah, I don't think I'm doing too well here. And I can't tell you how well he's... I'm dead. Yeah, you can't tell how far along he is because he has no health bars, so to speak. Just we're doing a quick cut in order to get here. In order to get back to the section, I'd have to do the mini-boss yet again, just so you know. And basically, just before that mini-boss, that's the midpoint for the stage up to this point, leading up until the boss door, I think. So, just a forewarning, I will be doing some creative cuts as applicable, just to kind of speed up the process, because as this is a longer stage, due to the length plus this boss fight here, I don't want to kind of drag it on too long, and there are a few extra things I want to throw at the end of this particular video. Now we're doing a little bit better this time around. I might want to retract that statement. Realistically, the best way to damage Blues is in order to keep him, or hit him while he's in the air, particularly with charge shots. Yeah, I don't want to do the mini-boss again. I know it can refill on more tanks, so yeah, I'm going to use the tank here. I feel like he's got to be going down on health pretty soon. He's taking quite a few charge shots to the face during his jumping, so You gotta be getting somewhere. I think generally you don't want to get cornered in this fight, just because, especially when he's doing the jumping setup there, he can basically hit you at will if he does catch you in the corner. See, no, seriously, he's got to be done soon. This is lasting way too long. Flinch or no flinch. No, that's a waste of a shot. You win a lot faster when you actually hit your shots, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, which I am not demonstrating too well right now. I know in the Super Famicom you can actually kind of counter shot him during that whole charge up there. That's something I used to do in order to take care quickly, but clearly it's not working in this particular port. So yeah, I am definitely getting some kickback here, getting some flack. That was a missed jump in. I really don't want to use another tank, ladies and gentlemen. It's kind of embarrassing to have to use the second tank. I know it is harder because of the no flinching, but the boss fight, this is not that hard. Okay, thank you. We're done. Now here's a little bit of more dramatic speech. We get Blues' shield. That's the added item for the game there. Now let's see. In the original game, when you get the Blues shield, let's see what it... Do we get an extra costume? It's like color change, if anything. Oh, this is different. Just so you know, I'm a little confused there. The blue shield, when you normally get it, you're not supposed to be able to run and shoot at the same time. And I'm not sure if you can slide while it's equipped. Oh wait, you can slide, but you can't run and shoot at the same time. That's something that was a bit of a limiter, because I'm guessing the thing was supposed to be bulky enough to stop you from doing that. But no one told that, or no one reminded the original person who made this in order to add that in there. Or perhaps it was a conscious decision to edit that to fit within NES limitations somehow. I'm not gonna argue, that basically makes it a full-time replacement for the regular Roll Buster. Alright, the slower path, as you can see. You need to light up the torches there, which basically means use Burning Wheel. Yeah, the Burning Wheel and get there. Which will light up the path as you go along it. As long as you have at least one torch lit up while you're going through this area, the area will stay lit. Your charge shots will also temporarily light the area, but it's very short term. And I'm now experiencing the small issue with the discrepancy in sizes here. Namely, the Burning Wheel with the original hop, that should have actually hit it normally, but yeah, no. Because everything is smaller, it means everything hits. Yeah, everything is kind of aligned differently, so I would have had to done that at the peak of a jump. Okay, let's go top route. Skipping the mini-boss fight. In about 3, 2, 1, I think. There we go, one little cutaway. Yeah, let's see what the top route looks like. It's admittedly, it's the easier of the two routes here. Although in order to get the blue shield, you obviously did need to go through the lower route in order to get there, at least the first time around. Yeah, now we have some zombie bots. We proceed upward. A few of these Night Riders, I'm not sure what the proper name is off the top of my head. But since we aren't outdoors, they stay in the normal night form. I'm not sure if it applies in this case, but in the case where the full moon is visible, those knights will actually transform into these werewolves. But since I don't think the clouds ever show up out here, in this particular remake, they're just going to stay as werewolves the whole time. Makes it a little easier because you can actually slide underneath their hops there. So I'm not going to argue there. But it's just one of the limitation things. Alright. He has this nice little portrait there. Surprisingly nice quality, even at this point. Yeah, no. All things considered what's going on in this stage, even limitations aside, it's a fairly decent remake of it. Can't argue about it. Let's see, health drop help, no health drop. And I don't need weapon energy, so let's just keep going. Now here's where the branching paths would meet up again. Bottom path would have an elevator ride. If this were the Super Famicom game, we would have run into base or fort from here. But since it is the D-Make, he's not present. He'll just be assumed to kind of show up in between one of the little story vignettes just after this, actually, since this will be the last Robot Master. Alright, changes for Shade Man here. I wouldn't say too much in terms of his pattern, but there is one major change in terms of how one of his attacks work. Namely his swooping attacks right here. You couldn't tell because he had full health when he hit me with that thing. One, it's a lot faster I find in general. And two, for every health he takes off you, you actually get a full health back now. Beforehand, I think it was maybe like 1 every 2. He'll get 1 back every 2 health he takes off you, but now it's 1 for 1, which means he actually gets more health back, meaning he's actually harder now. Or at least when he gets that attack off, it's a bigger payoff for him. Generally speaking, I think, even with the faster swoops, I slid the wrong way there. Yeah, for the faster swoops, you generally want to be sliding with him, so don't get cornered by any means. I am going all in the wrong directions right now. I'm doing magnificently bad right now. Basically my left and the right. There we go. You want to slide with him, not against him, because if you slide against him, as you can see, you'll get caught very often. Come on, land ready. Thank you. At least his invincibility frames are fairly short. In theory, once he is flying up there, I'm just going to use another energy tank. I can refill them before the Wily stages anyway, so it's not a big deal. But generally, yeah. Generally, the worst part of this fight is this whole swooping section. It seems to be random how long he decides to stay at the top of the screen, but as long as he's up there, you can hit him with certain things like the freeze cracker, but that is kind of hard to aim, especially since you can't aim just up, and it does low damage. Likely enough, we have the last of the Robot Master powers at this point, and a Magician's costume to go along with it, or Witch's costume in this case. We got the Crush Noise, which can be charged up. Oh, I actually completely glazed over as we head in this last little vignette that you let Roll leave the housekeeping and apparently Rock doesn't fill in the job. But no, seriously now, even though he didn't appear elsewhere in the game, Forte has trashed the place and stolen the plans for the super adapter, and Wily... Actually, Wily doesn't even reveal himself. There's no monitor for that. Alright, that's enough for this footage, but actually we have a little more footage coming up, so just one moment.